Fight Pass prelims.
What the hell?
Dude, like Randy Brown versus Muslim Salikov at welterweight is the first fight of the whole card.
Jesus Christ.
Well, they said top to bottom, this card may be one of the most stacked.
We might have to do the live stream. Oh, how you going, everyone, by the way? We're on.
We're on here. Here we go.
Back with Tom, because I thought it was fitting, because possibly one of the best cards of the year this weekend.
Coming up.
Could be, depending on the results.
Just like there's a stacked card top to bottom. Obviously, end of the year show. They've lined it with some heavy hitters, but just a bit of depth. Like if you're a big fan, there's just depth all the way through.
This one's an early prelim.
Like we were saying early prelims. There's fighters on the early prelims. Dustin Jacoby, Alonzo Menafield is the main of the Fight Pass prelims.
That's a prelim fight, like a higher tier prelim fight, all day, every day.
You know what? You could definitely put that on a fight night main card.
Oh, easy.
That would be a fight night main card, or on a pay-per-view. That almost could be, just for it being a banger. Like, it's going to be on the feet.
That's you
got a really good kickboxer with all the power of Menafield, and Menafield is just coming off the 2 fights that he had with the old Aussie Jimmy Crute, where it was what was it? Was it a split, a draw? It was a draw in the first fight because Jimmy Crute got the shit kicked out of him on the feet, but then I think somehow controlled him a lot, and there was a point deduction, and I think it ended up a draw, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Did we do the podcast before? No, we haven't fucking talked about the fight night 2 weeks ago.
Oh, the fight night also last the Sunday just gone.
Yeah, but the double bloody canvas smash KO in a row.
Oh, yeah. There was two fights in a row, 2 slam KOs out of submissions.
There was like 2 decisions that whole fucking card.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
There was. But when I watched that, because I watched it out of the live, I wasn't watching it live.
Oh, really?
I went back to go watch the prelims, and they'd on the UFC Fight Pass, they didn't line it up, and it was 15 minutes out from the commentary with the fights. You know how hard that is to watch? So I had to pause it, and I watched the fights,
That's
obviously.
fucked.
Yeah, it was on the stream, and all of a sudden it started, and then as soon as it started, it jumped ahead 15 minutes to like the middle of the first round of the first fight. So there's 10 minutes of lead up and all this. So it didn't sync. And so when I went back to watch all the fights, which were the slams, I had to watch it with the commentary off.
Did you see what happened to Bobby Green?
Oh, I was going to bring this up to you because how did you feel about it? Because
I don't care. I don't like it.
I know you don't like him. But he got knocked out twice.
That's brutal, though.
That was a rough one.
That was rough to watch.
Did you see my Twitter X feed all of a sudden comes up as like people were making lists of the worst ref stoppages? So old mate Steve Mazzagatti.
I wouldn't say it's one of the worst. It was
pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was up there as pretty. Dude,
he was killing.
As soon as he stopped it, even Bobby Green's corner, when they panned it out, they're waving their arms, being like, "That's it." And commentary, I remember going, "What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, ref? What are you waiting for?" And then, when he's out again, yep, you've just knocked him out for the second time.
Did you see?
And face plants, and then he's out for like 3 minutes until he came to.
Who was it? Which ref was it? Not Steve Mazzagatti.
No,
the other bald one.
It was a dude who's usually all right. No, he's receding. He's not bald.
Oh my god!
I could see it, but his name might come to me.
Armin Sakarian followed him on like Instagram after the fight.
The
ref.
Would have loved it. Oh, he did. Because then they asked him about, he was so brutal. And he's like, I loved it. I was laughing my ass off in the back. And I was like, dude, you're about to go out and fight. And you see a dude where you get knocked out, slammed. Like, has Sarukian been KO'd? He hasn't, has he?
Didn't he just... No, I believe he lost to Islam.
Yeah, he lost to Islam on points.
On points, but
yeah, he's only lost on decision. I don't think he has.
I'd have to look
because it up. You know why he's so happy about that, and this is why it's hard to watch. Because it hasn't happened to you yet, mate. That's the issue. You're all laughing about it because you're the hammer right now, and even when you lose, you're not getting KO'd, you're not getting finished. You're just getting just losing on a bit of a skill deficit. So it's all funny to laugh about it, knowing those consequences.
But that was a fucking brutal one to watch.
That was a brutal knockout.
Just like a human, that was not
that
nice.
was hard. Yeah, he face plants into the ground again. You're like, and then he's out for minutes on end. You're like, God damn it. Jalen Turner, though, there you go. The tarantula just...
The main event was
Sarukian.
And who did he fucking beat? He knocked him out.
Dariush. That's right, because he threw the knee, and everyone thought he hit him with the knee, but he threw the knee and got it 3/4 of the way to the chin, and then he hit him with a fucking right, and absolutely. What was that?
I don't know.
Absolutely cracked him with that right, and that's why everyone thought he hit him with the knee, because that's how much he feinted it.
Unfortunately, I don't reckon, because Islam's refusing to fight anyone but Justin Gaethje now.
He said that, and then Sarukian's like, oh, this and that. And then I look back on Sarukian, and it was like, he doesn't want to have rematches. He wants someone new, Islam we're talking about. But then Sarukian was like, if they do this, I'll leave. He's playing that like you're bigger. I was like, no, yeah, Sarukian, you are great to the hardcores because we know how good you are.
No one knows who the fuck Sarukian is.
No one knows you yet, man. There's no way you can talk about. They better give me the title shot.
Not say he's a fantastic fighter.
He has all the skills to be a champion. He gave Makhachev in his UFC debut. He gave Makhachev in the grappling realm all we could give. What you have to think now is there's Sarukian striking, but look at Islam striking now after what he did to Volkanovski.
The issue is for Sarukian, those three above him are so good. I don't think he beats either of them. I don't think he beats
Oliveira, Poirier, or Gaethje.
Actually, Poirier's his easiest fight out of those four. Because Islam beats the shit out of him. Oliveira, to me, is better at striking and probably just as good on the ground.
We said that. Did we say this last time?
I'm not sure.
Else. Oliveira versus Sarukian would be...
It's a horrible fight for Sarukian.
I know, but there's your test.
Great fight, though.
Because amazing fight. Because if he takes him down, the scrambles on the ground with Oliveira...
Gaethje knocks him out, I reckon.
I think Gaethje...
I'm pretty sure
Gaethje might be the worst matchup.
I'm pretty sure Tsukarian has been knocked out before.
Yeah, why do I think... I know Islam, he only got knocked out once. But...
He lost to Gamrot by decision.
That was super close and super controversial.
Makhachev by decision.
That was his UFC debut.
Yes, and outside of the UFC, he lost by first round KO 30 seconds in.
Oh, wow. So he got hit with a big shot and stopped.
So he has been knocked out.
You know what? I reckon that was a flash KO maybe then early in the career where he didn't get bang, bang, bang hitting like faceplant again, could you imagine how many shots Bobby Green took on the dome? Because Jamie Mullarkey just did it on this weekend. Did you see Jamie Mullarkey versus Nasrat Haqparast?
Haqparast. Did he win that? Because I tell you,
Haqparast KO'd Mullarkey in the first round. Because
I put money on Haqparast.
Haqparast. Yes.
Where the fuck is he?
It's from Afghanistan, and he lives in Morocco.
Oh,
he's from Afghanistan, and he lives in Morocco.
All about that life.
He is. But he's good, and I I'm a big fan of Haqparast and his fighting style. But I backed the Aussie because he was the underdog, and I thought striking on the feet, Haqparast has made some tactical errors, but he's been with Faraz Sahabi for a long time now.
I reckon.
So all of a sudden, I think it was did he got the double jab, and then when he cracked him, but it's as he goes to stand, which is what you want to do. You don't want to end up on your back. But Mullarkey, so he got cracked. He tries to stand up, but he's single collar tie, and then uppercutting him in the face as he's standing up, and so he's literally eating 8 to 10 punches straight to his face. Because he's getting up going, no, don't let him stay on your back and turtle trying to wail on him. So before he's like that, he's gone to stand up, whack, 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 and then next minute, as soon as there was a bit of space, whack, whack, knocked him again and then dropped him down. But he ate like 8 to 10 on the stand-up, just going, I'm just going to take this to stand back up.
I can't bet on him anymore. I don't know why. I can't.
Mullarkey?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Because he's up, down. He's the win 2, lose 1. Win 1, lose 2.
You always want him to win.
He's great.
On that Perth trip, when me and the boys all went to Perth and we went to watch Volk at the Volk's after party, Mullarkey...
Wasn't he one of the big drinkers?
I was a menace. Yeah, I was a menace. As everyone knows. But
fantastic.
Mullarkey was
down.
The most lovely person.
Yeah.
Like he obviously knew that I was fangirling really hard.
Right.
But he
loved it.
He didn't, or he was just cool about it.
Yeah,
like he was fucking with it. Like he was
It's
chilling.
good. Yeah.
Whereas other ones, you can tell that it's like, oh, another, and it's like,
I don't need this again.
and fair enough, because like, do you know how many people would come up to him hammered and be like, oh, yeah,
Oh, of course.
But
especially in Australia, mate. Hey,
Yeah.
where you going? You're hanging out? Where do they have all their deals at pubs and everything?
So-
Do they hang out with the drunk crowd?
so where did we? Oh, last weekend. Yeah, I honestly think Sarukian does not beat any of the
Any of the top four?
top four. Nah,
Top four.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
But-
that's. I mean,
So
good.
what
I
do
want
you
him
do?
versus Oliveira.
What do you do? Do you do Islam versus Gaethje and Oliveira Sarukian?
Yes.
That's the one.
Yep. And then Poirier's already like Poirier's just
I
going to
really
wait for
want
another
to.
big
I
fight.
just really want to see Oliveira and Islam again. I really think it'll be a different fight.
Yeah. No, I'm down to see that again. But if they're going to,
I think
the
Gaethje
way
gets absolutely murdered by Islam.
yeah, I think so too.
I don't
I think
think-
Islam can do to Gaethje exactly what Khabib did.
Oh, just easily. But he's also probably just
wouldn't-
as good a striker.
Yeah, but he
Not
doesn't.
just
He
as good,
doesn't. He
but-
doesn't want to stand with.
Fuck no.
He doesn't want to stand with Gaethje because Gaethje will present the same problems to Islam, which is checking leg kicks. You got to make
It's
sure you check
exciting.
leg kicks before you can get the takedown. Because Khabib's leg was jacked. He said he's like a few more of those kicks, and it was serious trouble.
Then what was last week's main card?
It was Song Yadong versus Gutierrez.
No, the fight, the prelim, not the prelim, the co-main.
What was the co-main of the weekend before? Ah, damn it.
No, of this one that just passed.
Oh, that was Anthony Smith versus
Yes.
Khalil Roundtree.
Yes.
The
So-
KO in the third.
So,
Woo!
how about this?
Woo!
How about this? Khalil versus Johnny Walker.
Yeah, it's great. Do that.
UFC 300.
Yeah, he's calling for Piro, which won't
US
happen, but,
300 opening up the main.
But hang on, is it? Yeah, no, what's not going to happen then? Because
Johnny Walker's got booked.
Johnny Walker's booked. Johnny Walker's rebooked for Ankalaev, right?
Well, we were looking at the top 10 the other day. He's going to have to fight. Is it Ankalaev? No.
Ankalaev.
No. Yeah, is it Ankalaev?
Ankalaev is Johnny Walker. Yeah.
Are they fighting?
They're fighting. They rebooked because of
Okay.
that shitstorm over in Abu Dhabi where the doctor
They're
come in. He's
redoing
like,
it.
we're in the desert. Yeah, they're redoing it. Yeah.
Where, on what card? 298.
Yeah, 298, I think.
Tai Tuivasa's fighting on that now.
Is he?
Yeah, Tybura.
Oh, Marcin Tybura.
That's a really winnable fight for him. Mm-hmm. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is what he
Tybura, they're both just inside the top 15 at the moment.
They're just going to beat the shit out of each other.
It's going to be a stand and bang. And hopefully Tybura doesn't get any grand ideas about really wanting to grapple with him too much.
I don't think he will.
No, I think they might fake shots just to keep it going, but it seems like it should be a bit of a
Fuck,
banger.
middleweight's tasty as well at the moment. Everything's so good.
Oh, it's...
Besides bantamweight and besides featherweight,
Featherweight is the fight that they want to see. Little bit of a hardcore matchup was who was the flyweight that won on the weekend. Had a really good performance, and then they were talking about him versus Makayev. Damn it!
I'm gonna have to bring up the fight night.
Who was they? He had such a performance. It was such a grappling heavy, grappling dominant performance.
I got really high on Sunday for the first time in a long time. I got like obscenely high, and I watched the fights.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was beautiful.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Isn't it fun?
It was so good.
Were you sitting in a beanbag?
Yeah. Oh no, I was live streaming.
Oh, that's right. So you did the live stream.
That's right. Khalil Roundtree.
Yep. Who's the flyweight? Because it was they were talking about him versus Makayev, and it would be a bit of a jump, but just his grappling chops were so good.
At flyweight?
Yeah, flyweight.
Is it that Korean guy, Park?
Yes.
Park Hyun Sung.
No. He was the middleweight.
he's
Tatsun
a
Taira. No, Taira. It was the Japanese guy. He's Japanese, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Was that like the first fight of the prelims?
It was like the second or third. Tatsu Taira.
Which fight night are you talking about?
The one that just was on the weekend. He was like the third fight of the prelims. It was Tatsu Taira. Taira, I think is his last
Why
name.
the fuck isn't more fights coming up?
I don't know, but he
That's
was
the one.
dude. That's the
I
one.
know, the
Tattoo
Japanese
Taira, the
dude.
Japanese dude, and he's maybe 3-0 in the UFC at the moment. But his grappling is sick. But he knocked the dude out after absolutely grapple mauling him on the ground for the whole first round, back riding him, transition slick, super tight. That everyone was like, "Oh, him versus Makayev after a Dagestani grappler versus a jiu-jitsu smotherer." It was who's like slick transitions, but also both very competent on the feet already in very, very competent on the feet. So it's, if they keep it as a kickboxing fight, but they don't, like they still engage in their strong suit. So yeah, Tatsu Taira versus Makayev is what everyone's hollering for for the flyweights, like we said, because they need an injection of bit of positivity for the flyweights. People kind of turn off them, right? Because they're a little bit small.
Realistically, they're the most well-rounded fighters.
That's what they say. The lower weight classes have to be more technical because
They're
it's
free.
more real. Yeah.
You can see them how they transition, like just from striking to wrestling to high-level jiu-jitsu so fluently.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, the technique level as you get lower in weight has to be sharper.
All right. We'll start off at 296 so Jacoby Alonso Menafield is
That's the main event. You got Cody Durden.
Andre Feely.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, versus Lucas Almeida. I mean, who the fuck's Lucas Almeida?
I don't know, but they're throwing Feely to the fucking wolves probably.
Well, mate, he'd be I think he might be 1 or 2-0 for his touchy feely. Mate, touchy feely. Didn't he win his last fight? Like he looked alright, but he won by decision.
I don't remember.
But he's been doing it a hot second, and he might smoke an up and comer.
Yeah.
Especially if the dude's a grappler.
Striking's good.
Dude, he will pepper a dude if the dude's a grappler as well.
All right, so we're opening up the main card with Cody Garbrandt and Brian Kelleher. That's like a real, not a gimme fight for Cody, but that's so winnable. He's so much better than Brian Kelleher.
Cody Garbrandt versus Kelleher. Well, you were talking about this the last time. This is what we talked about, that you said it was the guy that was brought in from Dana who got given the chance, who threw this together and be like, I didn't know Garbrandt was let go.
Oh, yeah, he was gone. Yeah. He was going to do bare knuckle.
Oh, was it? Wow.
Which I reckon he would be good in.
He would be good
until he gets
punched. He gets KO?
Yeah, until he gets punched in the head.
Who was the less one? When I saw Rockhold signed up for bare knuckle, I was like, you might be the worst person
Fighting
to
Mike
fucking
Perry, you're gonna die.
You might be the worst person to sign up for bare knuckle, man.
I'm so happy Mike Perry's famous now. Because
Mike Perry is. No one knew. He's a dog. Yeah, they said he's got that dog in him that bloody he goes bare and he finds a way to win. He's put those hands on people.
He
beat good people in the UFC. He was high. He beat Ellenberger. Remember that elbow? He's just stepped in with that elbow and just.
Surely he's the only person ever to win a fight without a coach in the corner, with his girlfriend in the corner.
Yeah, possibly his girlfriend.
He'd have to be the only one. Besides, maybe Diego Sanchez when he had Fabian.
Oh mate.
What was his name?
Jesus. Yeah.
Coach Fabian.
Yeah. Coach Fabio.
Fabio?
No, wasn't it Fabio?
Was it Fabio?
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know, whatever that cunt was.
I've watched a whole YouTube docu-series on that bloke, and it's just like...
What is it? The world of self? What of it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was he's come into the fighters room with this guy, like, it's all your mind controlling it, and then he's smacking Diego in the head when he's hanging upside down.
I was going to say, did you see
spinning on a bag?
Did
and
you
he's
see
just
when
whacking him in the head?
Tied him up to a bag, and he was just
punching him, punching him, just knocking him in the head. He's like, this is a good idea. It's like, that's not a good idea.
All right, so who do you have between Cody and Brian?
Oh God, Cody has to just. If Cody comes out, you'd think. Depends. We said this last time. It depends on if he comes out. He should. If it's early Cody and it's rejuvenated, he
still
feels
be
better.
In the top 5.
He's still got something to prove in there. The skills, he should be in the top 5. But he's just
worst IQ in MMA.
Worst IQ in MMA, chinny as fuck. But all the talent. And so if he can just do things correctly in stand-up, which is what he did last time, but then he didn't take enough. He got confident because remember he was dancing, jigging and jiving, and it's like, you're pot-shotting him. You're jigging, jiving, you're pot-shotting. What have we talked about?
He was 3 seconds away from beating TJ in the first fight.
Oh, it was close.
And then he lost his fucking mind and just decided to slang and bang, and fucking TJ got him.
And then he's done that many times ever since.
That fight's what fucked him. I think TJ beating him just ate him alive.
Yeah. I don't know, but then he got bad COVID. He had COVID for months and didn't realize until he got like super bad COVID. He was speaking about it on, if it wasn't his last Rogan appearance, he spoke about it. He was like, I kept doing it and it was bad. So he was hospitalized and like fucked himself because...
Sounds like a built-in excuse to me. sounds like
Cody.
He's just chinning.
I hope the best for it because he does. He has all the talent in the world. When he's on, he is so good.
And he's fun to watch.
That's what he said. When they've got the talent, you love to watch them. It's just whether or not they can do it in the moment. And what is it about then having the talent? That's what makes the mindset and what makes champions is some things you can't instill. And it's like you could have the talent, but you don't train hard enough. You could have the talent, but then you make poor tactical decisions. On the weekend, the main event, Gutierrez versus Song Yadong. Gutierrez, in the last round, goes for an Imanari roll. Doesn't even grab the leg and then just flops to his back.
Who was it? That was Ryan Hole. Was that the Ryan Hole movie?
Ryan Hole versus Tapuria was just... he did that. He was always trying to do it. Tony Ferguson does it really well, the Imanari roll. And Eddie Bravo got in shit because he was like... Because when Tony versus Gaethje, and obviously Gaethje beat the shit out of Tony.
Imanari roll.
He's asking in the corner, he's like, maybe we should throw an Imanari roll. And everyone's like, what? He was like, I got thrown in. He was on Rogan talking about it. He's like, I got thrown in there. The coaches were like, Eddie, go in there and tell him something. There's been no ground game, no grappling. Go in there. What do you want the grappling coach to tell him? Throw an Imanari roll. It's the only entry. He's not a wrestler either. He's a jiu-jitsu coach. And you could go in there, Eddie, give him some fucking advice.
Dude, I always... Oh, fuck. What was that? Oh, shit. What
made you like you were a background artist. There we go.
I always think, whenever I think about like elite coaching moments in MMA, I always think how crazy, and I will ask Craig this in person one day, but how crazy would it be to be Craig Jones, not really like being an MMA expert at all, in Volk's corner for Brian Ortega.
Oh, when happened.
I think that's the first time they brought him in as well.
Yeah, it was.
And
because the story of Eugene told him in the back and was like, oh, that would have been your one and done, mate.
Yeah, because it's like you're only there. Everyone knows you're only there if one bad situation happens.
Yeah. But what were they working on?
The worst situation that could have happened happened.
He fell into
it. And Craig went from being the least important person in the room to the only fucking person.
But we've seen it. There is a clip of them going between him and Joe Lopez is a black belt as well. But it was obviously, Craig's there, and all of a sudden, as soon as it happens, hips, push the hips away. All you can do is create space.
That still, to me, is the greatest round in MMA.
I went back and watched it last weekend after the fight.
Is it just as good?
Yes. That third round is an absolute burner. And knowing that it was just Volk winning through, and then you get to the third, and then he throws those two submissions at him.
Top 5 round?
Yeah.
Top 5 of all time?
One round. Yeah.
Well, what's Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler, round 3?
Yeah, which one was it where it was...
Round 3 or 4?
I couldn't even remember the specific round.
Because the whole fight...
The whole fight was back and forth, but there's...
But it was the 4th or the end of the 3rd.
There was also one, was it round 2 of Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker?
Where they were just beating the absolute shit out of each other.
So you could hear every fucking shot that was landing, and they were on the fence, whack. It was like, there's been some, those three are good ones. Those are some good ones for one rounders.
Put into your one round.
I mean, the one rounder, I think I'm just going to go back to, because it's one of my favorites, and I want to listen to some podcasts of his, which I've saved, is Frank Mir's. Was Frank Mir Nogueira, when he got stunned and staggered and then dropped, and Nogueira went for the guillotine, and then he reversed and switched the whole thing and ended up with a Kimura and snapped his arm in 3 spots.
It depends, because it's also the stakes of the situation.
Yeah.
Like, John Jones and Vitor, when Vitor took his arm and then John beat... Was that between 1 round or 2?
What? No, he got him in, I think he got him in the 3rd.
Was that...
The first round he broke his arm, and I think it took to the 3rd.
It was split between rounds. I thought it didn't happen in the same round.
No, it wasn't the same round. No, that was over. I think it was the 3rd. And by then, Jones... Belfort broke his arm in the 1st, and then Jones... fought through, and then I think he submitted him in the 3rd.
That's a good one. Put in the comments what you think the greatest
One round
of
best
MMA
round.
is.
So best round of fighting. Yeah, best round in terms of the most exciting. Dan Hooker Poirier comes to mind. Frank Mir versus Nogueira, that massive round where it's a back and forth. There was a fight of the year. Who was it? Was on one of the last cards. It was the Brazilian cat who won on the Contender Series against the dude that knocked out Shogun in his last fight, and everyone was booing him because he's a Ukrainian. And I can't remember their names because it's a Brazilian and a Ukrainian. But that got like a back and forth because the Ukrainian bloody cracked him and had him so hurt, so bad, and like had him out, and then he gassed himself trying to finish him, and then the Brazilian all of a sudden survived after about a minute and a half, and then came back and hit him with a big shot, and then TKO'd him with power. Because
what year was this?
What year? This was the last 2 weeks. It was one of the...
Oh, have they already had the awards?
No, this was as in everyone was talking about that. What just happened will be one of the comebacks of the year.
Oh, yes. Now I know what you're fucking talking about. I just spaced out.
I'm sorry. When there's names and things I don't know, but it was the Brazilian off the Contender versus the Ukrainian that knocked out Shogun.
All right, so... I just pulled up MMA best fights of the year.
This is why, Sav, look, if we know any technical people that, if he has a young Jamie out there that really wants to join on call when we just have random Tuesday arbos.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But there's
pulls up a fight card, so it's right there to
I wouldn't
look at.
even be able... MMA blends to me so much that
I know.
I wouldn't be able
well, you
to
remember
tell you
fights and you remember like it was good, but yeah, the last 2 fight nights have been good cards. There have been really good fights.
But like, some people are like that. I'm not. But like, you could just say to them, what was the round of the year 2016? And they'll just be like...
Oh, yeah. Some people.
Yeah,
those, what was that famous movie? Rain Man.
Rain Man.
Like, Rain Man could do it. The ones that can read something, they've got photographic memory.
See, what would you say the greatest, if you had to guess, the greatest round of 2018 was? Oh, the fight of the year. Just go fight of the year.
I wouldn't even know, man. Like, fights blend together over this time. I wouldn't know what was a year. I have a roundabout of, like, it was around this time. I couldn't even tell you what fights were going on in 2018.
I couldn't even tell you who was champ.
Nah.
Robert Whittaker, Yoel Romero 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, that was a big back and forth. Massive.
But number one was Justin Gaethje and Poirier, I think.
Yeah, that was because
number one.
That was the Gaethje fights that made him change his style, because him and Poirier and him and Eddie Alvarez and then him and Michael Johnson. He won the Michael Johnson fight, obviously.
Max Holloway, Brian Ortega. Max Holloway put a fucking belting on it.
Why is the first thing I remember from that fight is the clips of where he shows him how to defend correctly in boxing, because he's beaten the shit out of him so bad in like the 4th round that he's hitting him with combos, and he grabs his hands and like puts his hands in the right position when things happen.
He's like, just keep him up.
Yeah, in the moment, and then you just realize he could do that as long, and then they stopped it. I think because the corner,
Ortega was fucked.
I think at the end of the 4th round, Ortega was
the 5th best fight of the year in 2018. This is nostalgia.
The 5th best fight. Okay.
Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis.
Oh, that's when he came back off the knee injury. That's when after he shredded his knee.
And Tony was still doing the damn thing.
And he came back like, that was like 8 months off a shredded, like he ripped everything in his knee. And he did his own rehab. Apparently there was no doctors, there was no surgery.
Jimmy Manuwa was still fighting in 2018. 2018, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Jimmy Manuwa was still, up in the upper echelons of the light heavyweight division. The old English
Calvin
bomber.
Kattar and Shane Burgos.
Yeah,
Burgos is PFL champ, or in the PFL now.
Burgos was good. Burgos was that one. You remember when he got hit? Was it by Barboza? And it was staggered. It was super delayed.
It was like 4 minutes after.
Dude, it was like 3 seconds, and he got hit, and then next minute he's like, nope, and his eyes just rolled up, and he fell backwards into the fence.
Is that the fight that he got cut from? Or did
no? I think he had another one. No,
because I think he just
Billy Corantillo as well.
Corantillo,
Billy Q. And I think Billy Q just outworked him. Yeah. And it was power versus...
Gun fucking striker, though. Tough as nails.
Yeah, New Yorker. Big man.
All right, then...
UFC. So where we go? So we just did... so if we go back to the what card is it? What number card is this?
296.
296 is this weekend, and we just did Garbrandt with Kelleher. So who else is on the prelims, or was that the main fight of the prelims?
Rewind my phone.
Really?
So Cody Garbrandt's opening the prelims.
He's opening the prelims.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, okay.
Do you have it up on there?
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. So Casey O'Neill, Casey O'Neill, the Aussie,
Aldana.
versus Ariana Lipski, the Queen of Violence, who's hot. Ariana Lipski?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brunette.
She's good. Yeah. Strong. That's a good fight. If
Lipski
Casey
is
O'Neill,
good.
Lipski's very good. It just, if O'Neill grapples more, I think I'll go for O'Neill just off the being an Aussie. But I like Lipski.
Good fight. That's still
Very
prelims,
good fight.
isn't it?
That's the first fight. That's the opener of the prelims. Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Keller is the next one. Irene Aldana versus Carol Rosa. Number 5 versus number 8 in
Aldana.
the women's bantamweight division. Goes to show the women's bantamweight divition ain't strong
Yeah,
since
it's not that
Nunes
good.
left. They are struggling. The lighter weights are
should just
better.
close
The
it.
lighter weights are better. No, you can't just say close it, but because they've never had a featherweight because they could never start that.
Well,
division,
most
you know.
fucking women aren't that big.
It's true.
Like, so it's just
You need
hard.
the outliers. You need the outliers, and there's not that many outliers
Do you know
that want to get into fighting and make 20 and 20.
Get Gabby Garcia in the fucking division.
Yeah, oh, come on, mate. What would happen there? You'd be embarrassing on the UFC.
Do you reckon
if
she
you
makes
get-
bantamweight ever?
No.
How much
What?
does she fight?
Bantamweight?
She lost 6
She was
foot
gonna
4.
she was gonna grapple Craig Jones, mate. You reckon
She's
she
bigger than
would
Craig,
ever?
too.
She would bantamweight.
Yeah, she's
if
big
you
bitch.
chop both her legs off, she might make bantamweight.
Big old bitch, man.
She's a huge woman.
She's a fucking big motherfucking bitch.
She's an outlier, but that's why she has to go to Japan and they put on the Pride Day fights.
Remember when fucking... Is
What a
Cyborg
fi-
still doing the thing in Bellator?
Yeah. I think
she?
she just got a KO like a few months ago.
Yeah, right.
Still doing it. So, I've obviously, bantamweight, who cares about Irene Aldana versus Rosa? Hopefully, Aldana comes out and is embarrassed by the GOAT retiring because it was like, well, I beat a number 1 contender and the number 1 contender didn't show up to fight. So, I just hope Aldana comes out with a fire under her ass to actually have a good performance and show how she built up the record and to be one of the best bantamweights to actually do it, because it was just an awful performance. Because probably like all of it, you get deer in the
Who
headlights.
has a
'cause
belt
you're-
now?
No
Is it
one.
vacant?
It's vacant. It's going to be Pennington versus
Pena? Not
no,
Pena,
Pena's injured. It's one of the Brazilian cats. Not Dos Santos, but Santos
She won't come
or
back,
something
eh?
like that. Who?
Nunez.
Nunes won't come back.
No, you don't reckon?
No. But then, so the next one, late replacement, Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell stepping
love
in.
Bryce Mitchell.
Yep, he's stepping up on, what is this, 12 days notice or whatever it was?
Yeah, I feel like... Oh, Emmett's so fucking explosive, though. He can
leap
get
and
to
hit.
him.
He can leap and hit him.
Hit.
But Emmett is best usually when he mixes in the wrestling with the explosive strikes,
Which is not going to happen.
which is not going to happen with Mitchell. Mitchell's going to have to close the distance to try and get it to the ground. Mitchell, the longer it's on the feet, it's way more of an advantage for Emmett. Emmett's got so much more power. He can hurt.
I
He can hurt
imagine-
Mitchell so much easier.
If I'm gonna, I actually really like Bryce, so I'm probably being biased. But no, actually, I'm not being biased.
If
but
Bryce finds a way to get through the strike and get it to the ground, or cage control him and trip takedowns or something unorthodox to get him down, Bryce Mitchell he's way more tricky on the ground than what Emmett is. But it's almost like with Yair, like that didn't happen on the feet, but Yair has way better striking than Mitchell.
see, I reckon Emmett actually wins that fight. If I had to put money on it, I reckon Emmett's going to put him out.
I don't think Evan. It could be like a second round TKO, but otherwise, I think he may just like pot shot him and not want to overcommit for fear of the takedown, and knowing that Emmett is fight at the top echelon and lost for the next few title fights, and getting a late replacement with someone like Mitchell. I think
he needs to win.
Yeah, he needs to win. So I think he might just want to stay on the feet.
Yeah, he definitely needs to
won't overcommit. And because if he gets caught in a scramble with Mitchell, and Mitchell all of a sudden twister hooks him, and all of a sudden, gets him, Could you imagine if Bryce Mitchell gets his third twister submission on?
I'd be so happy. I love Brock Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's the weirdest motherfucker.
He's into. If you don't know much about it, also outside, he lives on a farm. He's bought his own giant farm in the back shit of nowhere in the flyover countries of America. Sorry, American listeners over there, but I hear this is how you describe it. It's how we would say
he's
it.
a redneck.
He's living out there in one of those flyover countries. Got his own farmland though, but he trains out there still. Raises his own farm.
Family members still in the clan. 100%.
Very possible. Very possible.
Fucking
now,
100%.
that is hearsay, but I'd say that's a high likelihood, judging from there. But also, he's a Bible basher. He's on the Bible Belt. Remember Dan Ige, so this is why he's got the fight. He beat Dan Ige in his last fight. Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah.
And then he called the Bible. And then he went on a Jesus rant. That's right. Let's pray together, brother.
Oh.
Let's talk. Bisbing's like, oh boy, I don't know how to handle this.
And he has a rap career.
He's a rap career. He's done a rap song, and it's all about what you do and don't know. He's wanted to debate Joe Rogan about flat Earth theory because he's a flat earther. He's a complete Bible basher after saying he was an atheist in his younger life as a younger man, whereas I went the other way. I was more into Christianity and that belief until I got older and started being a little more independent. But I'm maybe a little older than Bryce Mitchell, which means I didn't have the benefit/disadvantage of the internet where you can find your confirmation of any theory that you think is more true. You want to go that way.
There is definitely something too, though, growing up on a farm in correlation to just...
Could be good for you.
Strength.
Oh, well, they used to say farm boy strength.
Oh, my God. Bryce looks like he's strong as fuck because he doesn't look like much physically.
Doesn't look like much, no.
But I imagine he has that pressure that's just horrible.
That's why. And that with like solid jiu-jitsu. And then he's tricky as well because he's not a usual jiu-jitsu guy.
He's not genetically fucking gifted
He's definitely not that. But no, having some strength. But jiu-jitsu as well, it's what they say is like grip strength. And that's like farm boy strength. Strength is weird. Like that shouldn't be. It's not because you look so explosive that you can lift a lot of weight. Like you live big burly blokes with giant muscles, you think they can move a lot of weight around. But jiu-jitsu, when people are strong in that strength, like grip strength, it's ability to actually move something. It's way more functional strength. Yeah. And so it's hard to look at a human person and be like, oh, they would have that. You don't know until that person gets a hold of you. And then you're like, what the fuck is this? You're like, this. Yeah. How weird that is, but that can be worked on a lot more.
So you got $100. Where are you going? Who are you going with?
With Emmett versus Mitchell?
Yes.
$100.
Yes.
Round and you know what? $100. I would go Emmett by KO points, double chance, sports bet.
KO points.
Josh Emmett.
I'm your man, so I'm gonna go Emmett. Round 2 TKO.
Yep, there you go. Round 2 TKOs are good ones.
Round 2 TKO.
Especially for a dude, he has to work on him, figure out the distance. Are they going to grapple? Is his grappling strong for me? Can I hit him enough? Can I hurt him enough? So that's why I'm a big fan of the second round KO TKO bet.
Did I show you my bet?
No, which one?
Oh, it was so fucking close.
Oh, don't start with close bloody multis, mate.
You have a look how close it was.
Oh, so last weekend, I can tell you this one before you pull that up. The earliest bets I put on were I put a few bucks on when you bet it was like $20 on Song Yadong by points, which was not great. It was like $2.50 when I put it on. But that was one of the first bets I put on, and then I had Khalil Roundtree by 3, 4, 5. Oh no, 2, 3 because it was only a 3-rounder. Second or third round KO. And he KO'd him in the third. So those got me. My multis shit on me. Which one am I looking at? You had a 2-legger at 6. How the hell did you got the first one? What?
Hacker price.
Yeah, you got the first one. What was on the second? You put 25 on it at $68.
Khalil Roundtree KO round 2.
Oh, you put it direct, and it was the third, and he was
but in the second he knocked him out on his fucking feet.
He did,
and he just didn't rush him.
That's what made it so good, though. But
I spent my money, or he hit him, and then Anthony just did this, and just stood there, and Khalil was just watching him.
And then how was it though for the knockout in the third? In terms of all of a sudden he's like pat pat whack whack, And then he just goes, he does the stanky leg, falls over, and he runs at him like he's going to hit him with a fucking hatchet. And it's just to show, because this is the guy that Khalil Roundtree is. He's a savage when he wants to punch you until he realizes he doesn't actually kind of want to hurt you. So he's like, please don't make me do this. He was showing the ref like, I could.
I will.
I'm showing I can swing this hammer from up here, because if he just goes in and like shovel punches him, then yeah, he does way more damage, right? But he doesn't. He runs at him like he's holding a hatchet.
So I'm gonna kill him.
I'm coming to you, dish. But he didn't, and then they stopped it, and it was like, because he rolled over his eyes. He saw him when he hit him with those shots. He went stanky leg. His eyes rolls to the back of his head. He falls, and what's the thing you do? You turtle, and then you try and roll to guard.
Fucked.
His eyes. He was so out of it.
Cost me fucking $1,700.
That would have been. You put 25 by second round KO. Wait, you had Hack Price just for the win?
No, I had him for first round KO, $9.25.
And you put 25 on first round KO Hack Price into second round KO Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah, because I thought Khalil was just going to meld him. Khalil's so good.
Yeah, but that's why I did second, third round.
But he's tough. I know Anthony's stupid and he's tough.
And he was saying that. I was like, that's why I did second, third, because I was like, I don't think he will have the range, and if he wants to eat a few shots, Smith will be around there. But that's why I did second, third, not just straight second. If you would have lost about $5 on odds if you just did the 2-3 instead of straight into the second.
But like when he
gambling, baby, that's why we're going to Vegas.
He fucking knocked him out in the second round. And he just didn't. He just didn't push it at all.
He did. That was a good showing by Khalil.
Oh,
that's when Khalil at his best. And then, but people were looking at it going, oh, how did Anthony Smith ever fight for a title? It's like, maybe that's the other side of the coin. Maybe that's just how good Khalil looked.
Oh, Anthony's just tough though. Like when Glover was beating the fuck out of him and his teeth were falling out. And
his teeth fell out of his mouth.
He was picking them up.
John Jones illegal striked him and he could have won the title. Listen to the DC podcast on Rogan.
I'm taking that title every day of the fucking week.
That's what DC talks about, mate. If when you listen to the DC on the latest
you're going to make
podcast,
10 times the amount.
That's exactly what DC was talking about. If you're smart, because then they rolled into Aljamain Sterling with Peter Yan. They talked about fouls and winning the title, not just because you're the toughest guy. So yeah, you win the kudos for the night.
Yeah, pay-per-view points.
In terms of pay-per-view points, in terms of money made, in terms of your career trajectory, if Aljo gets up and fights Peter Yan in that first fight after that illegal knee, he would have gotten obliterated because he was getting the shit kicked out of him. He's coming on, his neck's not fixed, his neck's fucked. But he did that. He wins the title. He then beats Yan by out-grappling him, getting to his spot. It's close, but then he beats TJ. And now he's considered one of the greatest bantamweights in the world.
And you got more of a chance.
That goes away if he does the manly thing and fucking stands up after an illegal strike just to go, nah, let's keep the fight going.
Well, his career's gone a lot better than Anthony Smith's.
Well, except for Anthony Smith is on Bisping's podcast, and which is what he talked about after his last win, and he's still doing UFC comment. Like, he does commentary for the desk.
Do you know what baffles me? That still to this day, it took him like 45 minutes to subdue a home invader.
They said that though, but that home invader with a little more, this would be X notes, community notes that come up now.
Yeah.
Would be that guy was a high level high school wrestler.
Oh, really?
And and he was like methed out of his gourd. But that'll do it. That dude was apparently a high level wrestler. That's what made up. But worse. But then so we'll go. What about Strickland pulling the gun on the bloke?
See,
with
no
the home
fucking
invasion?
around. No fucking around with Sean.
But didn't he punch him?
With Deshaun Strickland. This poor motherfucker. He wasn't trying to rob Sean.
He wasn't trying to rob him.
He'd done like some mischief. He hit a girl or something at a nightclub.
Yep.
Went to drive away drunk.
Yep.
Cops were following him. He pulled over, ran to Sean's by fucking...
Tried to hide in between cars or hide in between... Tried to immediately call, probably to try and call an Uber or something, and then Sean sees it on his security footage, immediately walks out with a gun. With a gun, points it at him, be like, what are you doing? Goes out in the street as the guy tries to go. I think he punches him and just goes, stay there, man, stay there. It's all... Sean shared it with like music behind it. He fucking loves
Instant karma.
He froths on it.
That's just fucking hilarious.
Oh, Deshaun Strickland. You can't say he's not fun for the sport. I mean, Jesus.
He's the greatest champ of all time.
There is a very good I thought about on the drive over here, the good content for MMA. I've watched a few in the last week. Really good YouTube contents of people between jiu-jitsu and MMA videos when they're like between half an hour and an hour, and just really well put together.
Of what channel is this?
I think it's just multiple. Like I watched one on Marcelo Garcia. I watched one. It's called Tarzan, the Sean Strickland story. Some people just understand the narrative, the story to tell.
They know how to tell a good story. Good storytellers.
How to splice it, the in-betweens, the typing to the videos that's out there that's then free, so you don't get copyrighted, because you have to be very careful about what you're obviously sharing with intellectual property. But man, some people really actually have it nailed down for watching very compelling combat sports videos, if you know the right ones to look at. If they start getting some numbers and you're interested a little bit, yeah, I've watched one on Sean Strickland, Marcelo Garcia. There's a bunch of them, and I thought about coming over writing a list, because there is about maybe four or five different YouTubers that I subscribe to that create the content. But then because of that, my algorithm comes up with like, oh, this guy. And some guy just made it, obviously, with Sean Strickland going off. It was fucking brilliant. It's called Tarzan, the Sean Strickland story, or the Sean Strickland era or
Motherfucker
something.
looked like Tarzan when he had long hair.
That's why his nickname. And he's still got called. I was like, why is he still called Tarzan?
He used to be an attractive man.
God, he was a sexy
He used to
mofo.
be an attractive man.
Yeah, he did with those.
He looked like
that
a surfer.
long. He looked like the California kid.
Yeah.
You know, the old Uriah Faber before that.
So different.
Long flowing locks. You know,
So-
good bone structure.
You got you say by cat that we're only at Emmett still.
We're still. We're on the
You
Emmett.
did
I went Emmett on points.
points or cat or.
Oh yeah, I would
KO.
do a double chance, points KO.
I will go.
So you do obviously not
second
as
round
much. You
TKO.
got to put a little more money on
Yeah.
it. You got to sprinkle.
I
You
wanna
got to
make
sprinkle
that
that a little
money.
bit. He wants to make that money. All right, go to the main card. What do
On
we
that,
got?
before we go to the main card, I'm just gonna take a piss.
Taking a piss.
Boom, boom. So we just took a break, and I just caught Tom doing one of his dirty habits. His phone game.
My phone game, yeah.
His phone games. He's got a dirty little phone game habit.
Yep, we were. So then we got into it about how much we get caught into phones compared to gaming consoles, and how good gaming consoles are now, and the games and the technology.
It's just do you know what it is now? I don't play games, but if I was a kid, I would play 20 times more games than I could before, because
there's
you don't
so
need
many
to go.
options.
You don't need to
my
go
God.
buy the disc anymore.
I know. Well, no,
You can just fucking download it.
you just download it straight on.
For PC people, that's normal.
Yeah.
Like if you grew up with a PC, but if you're just strictly a console kid, when I was growing up, you had to like go to the midnight launch and buy the fucking game.
Back in our day, man, the PCs were like the early adopters of the technology, because the PCs were always better graphically. They were always better if you liked it with the keyboard. It was way more like functional. If you were quick function to like understand the keyboard, you could do more movements more quickly. Like it took a while for the gaming consoles to get up to that, but now it's handed like what they can put into a PS5 and into the latest Xbox, into the latest Nintendo and everything is just as good as what they can do, I think, on a computer.
I was telling
Between TVs and the gaming consoles. Oh, have you ever tried to play an old console on a new TV?
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
You can see the pixels.
The pixelation. Ooh, it's awful.
But I was telling Tom, you have to. The Last of Us is like a phenomenal story.
The game, The Last of Us.
But even if you just see, I'd say watch the show, but because the game's such a story-driven game,
Might ruin it.
oh, it will ruin it.
Yeah.
It will ruin it.
Right.
It's because they did that's the first game adaptation that I'm aware of to television that no one complained about. Like,
The Last of
it
Us.
was fucking, they filmed it so well.
You know what I just realized? Because talking about video games, we're then talking about podcasts and which ones we listen to at the moment. And I just realized you talking about that. I listened to a philosopher who wrote a book, and they were talking about Red Dead Redemption.
Oh my god, have
The
you played it?
No.
You've never played
The storyline of 1 into 2, but apparently the storyline of 2 is so so philosophical and so very leading from 1 into 2. Like, this guy wrote a whole book on storylines in the AI world and how much we put personality and how much we can associate ourselves with, like, just how good they are at telling a story.
Dude,
in computer games.
That Red Dead 2, they put so much effort into the NPCs that you can just sit back and watch an NPC starting to build a house, and then he'll go home to his, without, like, you're far away enough that they haven't triggered that you're around. You can just watch him go have a meal with his family. They might have an argument. And then you wake up in the morning, he'll go back and he'll build the house in real time. And then, like, a week later, the house will be built. It's so weird how much effort they put into that game.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy what they do. And then, obviously, extrapolate that because that's what they're putting into video games to show the peasants. So what the hell have they got at the cutting edge of visual, auditory... What is the cutting edge of technology and where we live right now?
So in January, me and Ravi are going to do another podcast because he's the AI engineer I had on. And he's like, I got some shit to tell you.
Ooh,
like, there has been, like, major leaps.
Oh, no. Okay, so I didn't think I'd actually bring this up, but I was hanging with my mate who's the biggest mate. He listens to this as well, so this will be good. I hung out with him at a party, and we were getting hammered together. And then at the end of the night, he starts getting a little emotional at the end of it, and I'm talking about being with my partner and it's good things, and he's getting emotional. I'm like, I'm thinking it's things are going wrong with his partner, but then he just looks at me and he goes, you know all those things that Elon Musk has been talking about with the AI and being nervous about functioning of the world when this is going on? He goes, yeah, I feel that's real. That's a real, and he
just dropped it on you,
dude.
He just fucking
dude,
dropped it on you.
You didn't see the bloke. Like, I know that I've known this bloke a long ass time, and I thought it was completely something else. You know, where you get emotional mates, you get drunk mates. You don't know what's gonna go. You're drinking with them the whole time, and then you flick a switch, and you're talking about one thing, and then he gets emotional, and you think you're still talking about that same thing, and then he's just gone, nah, I'm really nervous, man. And this is a software programmer, like an AI dude, yeah. He's like, I'm fucking nervous, man. I'm nervous.
For his job or his life or...
Well, the way he was acting, man, that's what I'm saying. I don't know because I didn't want to push that boundary. I was like, it's going to be fine, dude. It's going to be fine.
A lot of those people are going to lose their jobs in the next 5 years.
Maybe that's why. See, like, are you losing it because you thought you'd built yourself up into this world that would always be there because that's a new world and it's about to be taken by AI? Or... because that's what I brought. As soon as he brought that up, I was like, mate, you could always... And he goes, yeah, I know I could go do my job. He goes, I don't want to do that. I did all this fucking work, so I didn't have to go do your job. And I was like, fair. Yeah. But...
you're a peasant.
if humans have to be used somewhere, mate, the AI is going to take over. We're going to have to fucking build ourselves in somewhere.
AI try and build a fucking roof.
Yeah. Go for it, mate. Because
Fast forward 6 months.
I've seen CAD programs try and do it, and the architects go, no, this is how it works. See, my computer says so. And then you try and build it, and you go, wrong.
I have seen. Have you seen
AI
those,
is still not good.
Have you seen those videos of the 3D printer that does cement housing?
No, but they've already got that.
Yeah,
fantastic. Good. The quicker the better. Let's go.
But I don't know how it works because it doesn't have formwork.
I don't know the whole thing. That's why the whole thing about construction work is it's step by step. It's laborious. But things have to be done. Whereas unless you get the hardest thing to build is robots to do what humans do with human fingers and feet to move things, to do this, that we can lift a lot of weight. But what they worry about now is like the jobs they didn't think it would take, which were the white collar jobs. So
Yeah, no,
civil litigation, paperwork, payroll,
ChatGPT can do all that now.
All that stuff, mate. The writing of
I can't find it.
Okay, but a really good online content creation, right? A really good X post can be written by ChatGPT. All you have to do is do the filler videos or the filler pictures. ChatGPT will write the rest.
Dude, did you see my Feet Finder account?
I did.
Yeah, I got ChatGPT to fucking do all that.
See, you're the man.
I got $5 today.
Yeah, you did.
Shout out to the homeboy who bought them.
Yeah.
He said my price was too steep because I was charging $100 for just a picture of my right foot. And he goes,
Jeez.
hello, darling. I'm not joking either. He won't.
Oh, he's gonna do it. I did see it. As you were saying, I can't believe you got on the feet market, mate. You're just gonna.
No, I was bored.
You're on to the next big thing, mate. It's the feet market.
Read that.
What is this? Just move it to where I would like it, and I'll send you more money.
All right, he goes,
Jesus.
Hey, my darling, can you move a little lower, at least to $4? Unable to purchase such price like that. Hoping for a response. And I wrote, done.
Done. I'll put it wherever. Jesus. You know, oh my God, mate.
Gotta make that money.
OnlyFans, anything where it's direct marketing, direct content, that's goes back to what video games before that. It was like, that's mass market. You're just trying to do the best things to draw the biggest crowd. What you have with the internet and the thing now is like niche.
Yeah.
It's niche, but if you can get people to pay for your niche,
Fate.
it can be, yeah. It's Shah brought it up. That's why the offsider left. The old Cat. Cat was the online worker for Fighter and the Kid.
The girl.
The girl,
Yes.
the Asian girl.
Yes.
And she was always like, and they would joke with her and be like, you could be on OnlyFans and sell pictures of your feet and make $100,000. She left, and that's what she did. She was making bank, and that's why Sharp doesn't want to give these people these ideas, because he loses good quality workers in their field, because they're like, I can make bank selling pictures of my feet. I can make bank going to make music videos over here. Like his other producers got Sharp trying to get into the bloody the music industry with his producer with Chin. And all that, like he's a great music understander.
I haven't listened to a episode with Schwab in it for so long.
No, it's
He's
hard to.
deteriorated a little bit.
Well, it's hard to listen to him long term. We said to this as well.
Do you know who
I
else?
brought it up because Brian. I love Brian Callen.
Brian.
I've loved Brian for a long ass time, so I support Brian.
I also
And
like
Sharp
watching
just-
Joe and shit hammer him though every
See,
now and then.
that's why I like it too, because he's the best acceptor of shit to create the best comedy.
Yeah.
That's why him and D'Elia work so well. That's why him and on the old 10-minute podcast, shout out to the old podcast, 10-minute pod, with him, D'Elia and Will Sasso. They used to do 10-minute podcasts. Back when podcasts were not much, they won like a podcast of the year because they understood it's like people want, if they don't want to listen to half hour to an hour to 3 hours, what is the best content they create? So you got two really good comedians and a wicked. What would Will Sasso come under? He's been in many movies. He's always a bit part. He's in Happy Gilmore. He's a fantastic entertainer. He does not voiceovers, but he does. What do you say? Like he does a Hulk Hogan really well.
Yeah.
He does
impersonations.
He does brilliant impersonations. Like this guy's talented. You ask Callen and D'Elia, they're like, yeah, Will Sasso is one of the most talented actors going around, but he doesn't want to do stand-up. But obviously if he's a really good actor, so the three of them together, they used to create, and then they created characters in doing it.
Because Brian can act too.
Because Brian can act too. He was in The Hangover. That was his biggest, what mainstream people would know him for. If you're not into the podcast world, if you're not into the MMA world, he's a bit part player in The Hangover 1 and 2. He plays two totally different characters. But he's
1 and 2.
1 and 2. He's in 1 and 2 because he knows Todd Feldman, who was the director of The Hangovers.
Do you know who I'm off so much?
Who are you off?
Bert Kreischer.
A lot of people are off Bert Kreischer. Videos on the tubes are getting made in the comedic community about how much people are off Kreischer. People are starting to get off Tom Segura, apparently.
I like Tom, but Bert's just he's bit of a fucking idiot.
Well, isn't that what he made it? I mean, he made it on the machine, right?
Yeah, but he's just like, it feels like if
I feel like you should love Bert.
I would love to drink with him. Don't get me wrong.
See, don't talk bad about the people that you know. If you met Bert in person, you would be best friends.
Oh
with
no,
Bert
that's
Kreischer.
the thing. But I feel like Bert Kreischer, if you met him, he would try and make it so much about himself, it would piss me off.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean?
I went to go see Kreischer when he came here at the Thebby Theatre.
Don't get me wrong. There is no one else I think alive that I would rather sit down across a table and drink with.
Yeah, it'd be so fun.
Because he is a machine. I honestly think I would fucking destroy him. Though.
The machine. You reckon you destroy him now?
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
Ooh.
I don't.
Oh, that's a challenge.
I don't think.
Cut this into a promo. The Sav versus Bert the Machine Kreischer. The man smashes vodkas. Sav wants to scull a beer. I don't even know if you can do it. Can you pull up the pint with a mouth and just lift it without using your hands and just scull a beer back?
I'll tell you this right now. If me and Bert, say he flew to Australia and he sat down and we did a podcast and we went drink for drink.
Right.
If he had to drink a drink whenever I drank a drink.
You reckon you'd beat him?
He's not keeping up with me.
Ooh,
not at all. Not even slightly.
Interesting.
No, not
Sav
even.
Thinks
not
he
even
is
close.
Reeling in with those big fish. He is deep sea fisherman.
There is not
shark
many.
Cage diving. This man wants to throw himself into this fucking heat.
I'll kill him.
Oh, he will kill him.
There's very little people on this earth that can drink how quick I can drink in a short period of time.
Yes, the quick. You know, I actually have a friend, and a shout out to Ryan Babbage. Because when I said sculling with the glass, he's the only one I know that can do that. Pick up a pint glass and just four gulps. He's got himself a pint.
Only other person I know.
You're the only other one that does it.
There's my mate Zach. He can scull like fuck, and my mate Bridgie's probably quicker than me. He is quicker than me at sculling, and he can drink more than anyone I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
my mate Bridgie. I've never met anyone that can drink
as
more.
Quick.
No, out quicker.
Yeah,
he can drink. He'll drink a carton for praise.
Yes,
and function
nuts.
like he can, but he can still function.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what you look at when you drink enough. It's like I call it the sprinters versus the marathoners.
Oh, I go on full autopilot.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've tried to stop that as I've gotten older. Where it's like I can get there, but then it's like, what's the point?
Autopilot.
Yeah, because I do. I know at a certain amount. I would say if I have 12 pints and 4 shots.
You're on fucking autopilot.
I'm on autopilot.
And it's not even the fourth shot. It's the half of the fourth shot.
And you know what? The shots would be earlier. Just add the shots into the pints.
Yeah.
By the time I'd get to the 10th pint, I'm just drinking without really realizing what's going on. Then people start filming you. And you're like,
I just don't think Americans could hang with Aussies at all at drinking.
Possibly.
I just don't think they can.
I saw in Canada that it was a different level when I was hanging at the bars and seeing comedians, hanging out with musos that were just at a local rundown bar.
We're binge drinkers.
We do. I hung out at the bar. I like the bar owner, and then he was very accepting of me. Like he used to run off my tab sometimes.
But do you know what's crazy? So Aussies around the world collectively get fucking slaughtered because you go to a country and you realize that beers are only $2.50 and you go mental. Because here
we get taxed shit. Yeah.
It costs you fucking $12 for a pint.
Yeah, it does now in the bars.
And but then you go to Japan and a 500ml beer is $1.50.
Yeah. I went to Poland. My biggest one was Poland for that, and it was like
Poland would be fucking dirt.
Because here's the issue though: it's whether you were on the euro, but the Poland are not on the euro.
They had American dollar as well.
No, they were still on their own money.
Oh, yeah.
They're on their own money, which means I went to a convenience store. You buy a 500ml can of good Pilsner.
Oh,
and it was $1.50 of their money, which was like 75 cents of our money.
Yeah, Japan was pretty cheap. Greece and Cyprus are cheap, but everything's cheaper than Australia, so I don't give a fuck.
Especially when it comes to booze and cigarettes.
Hong Kong is the only country in the world that's taxed the same as us.
Yeah.
Hong Kong is insanely expensive.
Well, because why do they want to do it? They want to keep social cohesion. Because why do they boo? Because what out of all the drugs, right? We'll talk about this then. So I always like drugs. Just say no, but no is in KNOW. Like know what drugs you're getting into. Like just say no. Because that was the whole 1970s in America. The war on drugs was just say no. Because it was no to everything. But when you encompass everything with drugs, but we take drugs to make us feel better when it comes to modern medicine. We take antibiotics. It's a drug. It's a drug that we create. You've got psychedelics. That's a drug. But it doesn't kill people. It just shows you a completely different reality. But then you have cocaine, methamphetamine, alcohol, tobacco.
Tobacco's the fucking worst one. I'll tell you that now.
Caffeine. We have drugs that are accepted. We have drugs that we don't. Why do we accept the drugs that we accept, and why are certain drugs taxed a shit ton more? Why are some drugs deemed acceptable to the rest of the world, and that's something you can do every day in front of people? And then other drugs say, no, you can't.
I imagine it's taxability. It's a lot harder to tax probably cocaine than it is a cigarette.
It's just the fact if they start taxing it, they have to say they accept it. And they don't want to accept that civilization wants to actually take a stimulant which makes you feel fucking great.
Do you know what? I tell you now, I'd prefer my kid come up to me and punch a cone in front of me than light up a cigarette.
Have you heard there's laws and legislations coming in about people at a certain age where it's like they can't buy packets of cigarettes if you're born after 2005.
In the UK, is it?
I don't know if it's here and the UK, but I have a feeling it might be here as well, mate.
Yeah,
right. If you're born after a certain year, you're not able to buy it because, you should know better.
Well, then you're just going to buy it fucking illegally.
But then you buy it illegally, which is always the issue with when we get back to this whole dilemma of politics, drugs, liberty, human choice, self-indulgence. It comes back to liberty. Your choice to actually do something that doesn't hurt anyone else. But they justify it by why they tax us so much for booze and cigarettes because they know it does damage to us, which means we have to go to a doctor. We have to go into the medical system because we're going to get damaged by taking these things. We do that by living, after all. But that's how they justify it, why they tax us, because they know it's going to cause all these issues down the track. If you are an alcoholic, if you are a chronic smoker, if you are morbidly obese, all these things.
They still have fucking pokies at the pub, though.
They still have mate, see? Exactly. So,
and I'll tell you
again, so when it comes to politics, this is the dilemma that they face on how much do we extract because we allow you to live a life the way that we would like you to live, and then how much do we want to live a life where we don't want you to live this way, and so we tax it, we make it illegal, because we like these behaviors, but we don't like these behaviors. That's politics. Politicians then sign into legislation what we can and can't do, how we can and can't act because of these things about a social society that they want, that we could all agree that we live upon. We're all happy living this way. John Rawls called it the veil of perception. If you were born into a world, what world would you want to be born into? So what laws could you make that would that everyone would live the way you'd be happy? If you were born into that situation, not the way that you are now, what would be the best starting point? What would be the best, not even the finishing point, what's the best starting point? Where there's no nepotism, nothing that... The hardest one you'd say is, do you want to be a female born in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2015?
I wouldn't want to be born now.
No.
I wouldn't want to be born now.
Well, that's a harder decision about... That's a whole nother philosophical argument about, is it right to actually have kids? Because we know that humans suffer. We're the only ones that know that we suffer. And so knowing that, should we just all... And that's Elon Musk's issue, and that would get into a way deeper argument, which we should not get into, which is all the ideology now that is getting passed as the hardest leftist ideology is literally looking at the human species like we're all terrible, so we should just disappear. I think that's the darkest aspect that's the reductio ad absurdum of the slippery slope argument of these arguments that political ideology has now on the hardest basis of you can be whatever you want to be, takes us down to the depth of once you do that, a civilization will collapse. You just can't do it.
I just don't think we have the infrastructure for this many fucking people anymore. That's the problem.
We say that, but then have you heard Elon? Like the issue with that is population numbers. This is why I thought about it in this way. So Elon Musk has like 15 kids, so good on him. But I thought about not having kids for that. We have too big of a population. But then if everyone thinks that at the same time, and we know that the numbers that we have you heard of Thomas Malthus?
No.
Thomas Malthus wrote an essay in the 1850s, which is very obscure, I understand.
Yeah, definitely didn't.
All right, very, very obscure.
I smoke
I
smoke weed with a Thomas Malthus.
But the reason that he is important, so even if you don't know, in biology, he's very important because Charles Darwin, in his theory of evolution, heavily credits Thomas Malthus for his influence of thought to lead to the theory of natural selection, right? So this is why this guy was super important. He essentially was like, the resources that you extract from the land, we can only take so much as a human population. He kind of maxed it out back in the 1850s, so take it for granted. And it was like, we can only have this kind of population before we extract too many resources, and then there's a give and take. The reason that changes technology. Technology grew so much that all of a sudden we could freeze things better. We had better seeds. We all of a sudden extracted nitrogen out of the atmosphere. We could create fertilizer. We could create arid land so much and create so much more yield from the land space that we had. So all of a sudden that just shot way above the projections on what a guy in the 1850s thought about. But how far do you push it?
Yeah.
We're in a runaway race with the technology from the amount of resources that we have to create the world that we want to live in. What is the world that we live in? Because can all of Africa have a high Western democracy civilization and we still be fine?
Do you know what the crazy thing is? You say all of these things, and then a solar flare could happen, and we're all fucked.
Also true. I like you said solar flare because asteroid's the easy one. It's the solar flare you fucking worry about because the solar flare knocks out the electrical grid and all of a sudden it fries every transistor in the world at the speed of light.
Every plane.
And everything's gone. Everything's gone.
Everything.
Everything technological that we rely on electricity is gone. There's electric vehicles and they happen a lot. And by a lot, I mean maybe one every few hundred years. But if you rely and you don't have the infrastructure to actually prepare yourself for it, this is what they worry about. It's like, we're not backed up. Think about backing up, we have USBs, thinking about your internet. If you don't back things up with something else and everything gets fried, how much are you actually backed up?
Well, you never fucking win a fight with the universe.
No.
No one's ever beat a tsunami.
It's also called entropy, mate.
Yeah.
No one ever beats disorder.
No one.
And you know what the common law of the universe is? Disorder.
How long, say there is a solar flare, the food goes bad, we're 3 months in, it's looking bad. How long before you're killing motherfuckers?
Oh, it wouldn't take long. It's that's a scary thought. You think it'd really take a lot longer than what it would. But there's many
26 hours.
No, it'd be more than that.
No, you got to assert dominance straight away.
Mate, before I'm eating people.
I wasn't talking about eating people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What the fuck? Bro, I've got chips in my fridge.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, a week, it's like a lot longer. But yeah, before you run out of sustenance.
No, I'm just talking about like your certain dominance in the hierarchy.
Yeah, it would fall back to cavemen really quickly.
Oh, within a week.
And this is the hilarious thing about, everyone's good. Everything's good as long as it's all diffused, as long as everything's spread out, as long as
you've seen during COVID, perfect example of what will happen if shit actually hits the fan.
Yeah. Well,
perfect. People turned on each other over fucking toilet paper.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
People turned on each other over a That's not a necessity.
Yeah, but that's here as well. You know what's safer over here as well? Could you imagine if we had gun laws like the US over here over the toilet paper and people were shooting each other?
Australians would kill each other.
Australians would kill each other over the toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then you'd look back on it and be like, I killed someone over toilet paper. And you'd be like, what the...
If a solar flare happened...
It's awful.
I would...
It's awful. I could live in a cave somewhere.
I would have to kill someone within 46 hours to assert dominance.
Right, so you're thinking of asserting dominance. This goes back to the how many children could you beat up, the grade fives or whatever, waves of people that would come in. Ties in with that category. How dark are we going to go before we have to murder people?
No, what we do, we get... I really feel like Kim Robinson would be an asset.
Oh, it'd be the strongest asset.
I would get really friendly with Kim.
Kim,
and then
we're friends. We're friends, right?
And then I feel like we link up into the southern zone where we get M16, all of the old fighters.
Here's what I would say to you, like practically. I know I can run 20k easy.
You can do that.
I can just run to you guys. So within a 20k region,
you're good.
Southern region, I didn't leave till 21, mate. I was pretty confined to the southern region, even with a
smoke out in that, and I just drank it.
Oh, you put a smoke out in a... Oh, at least there's not that much in it.
That's fucking gross.
Oh, but he actually took a swig. Oh, no, he got caught. Bad man. Rookie. I'd say rookie mistake, but don't have that here. We need to get Sav a fresh beer.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Hang on. But no, so I've looked at, and my mother's brought this up to me before. She's interested in purchasing a large block of land far enough out past the winery district.
Well, in case she is a fan.
In case, well, like...
Not even for a family retreat.
If we build houses here, we're far enough out that we have land that's good. We have enough. Mum's a massive gardener. She's 25 years that I've. She got that green thumb, right? So she is like, if we all live land and we buy enough acreage and we can both build blocks, we can have our individual lives, but we live on the same land essentially, right? So
do you know what's fucked though? Then you got to repopulate.
What do you mean?
You got to repopulate.
No, not even that. It's almost.
You need to almost get in another family on it. So
everyone will have their own families, mate. When it comes, I'm not looking. If the apocalypse happens, that ain't going to work either. If the apocalypse happens, if we live here in Adelaide, is the apocalypse going to hit us as worse?
Do you know what I was going to talk to you about now that you said the apocalypse and it triggered me?
Yeah, it did.
Religion's real big now.
What do you mean religion's real big now?
It's always been big, but like, religion's big now.
Has it? Has it made a comeback?
Yeah, a lot of people converting to like Islam all of a sudden.
I saw Jake Matthews is into Islam.
Like a lot of people converting to Islam, and
I think people
like Jesus is king.
What would always go back though? Why do people and in UFC they always say praise be to God? Like
what about your trainer?
They always say the first thing is praise be to God.
Thank Javier Mendez first.
No. Don't worry about the people that teach you the skills. It's the Holy Spirit that is riding through you that is actually doing all the work for you. It's just people that need a sense of direction. Religion has given the strongest base for the longest time because it's directly connected to an innate feeling of spirit.
And it's tax-free.
They do. They don't get taxed if you're part of a religious sect. So
that's Scientology.
Well, that's also why do I think of the ayahuasca Brazilian religious sects, and they can get it as long as it's like in America, as long as it's granted under this religious sect, they can do it. And they can drink their ayahuasca because it's part of their religious sect. But it means it has to be direct. I think, religion, as someone, I would say, my mate would say you're an atheist, and I would call myself agnostic.
Do you know, I wouldn't call myself shit, because as soon as you
say that, you've voted to it. Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. I have a tattoo on my arm that was a cover up of a holy Roman Catholic cross, but I took that from my father. So you say you're influenced. So why you shouldn't get tattoos before you're 18 years old is for those very reasons.
Jesus Christ.
There you go. You got him on there. See, He's got them on his chest.
Because I just wanted a good gut filler.
Yeah, I know, and that's a giant look at that. The man is heavily covered.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful tat though.
Jesus Christ.
But that's why it's beautiful. But I got it changed into something that's more relatable to me. But it's also, I looked at this tattoo as a nice piece of art. Don't be so beholden to something you put on your body as this is the be all and end all. You can get it changed. You can get it. Every meaning changes. Everything. Every bit of substance changes over time. But that's why I didn't have religion. I believed in God. I believed in God for a long time. I believed in it for, depends on how much you look into it. I believed in it because people told you this is right. And then how much of your faith, quote unquote faith, is because people have told you this is the correct way to think, right? You have faith. And I always said I have faith. And then when I lost that, I said, I don't have faith, I have hope. And then when hope kind of goes, you go, well, you've got your intelligence, you've got, we have consciousness. What we have, the Carl Sagan quote is, we're the only way for the universe to know itself. We're the only thing the idea of a rational being, a rational human, all these things tie into why. I'm reading a book right now called, and it's what is it called? The Origins of the Western Mind. And it's just, we birthed ourselves out of religion. We had it's called religiosity. It's literally built into us to believe in a divine thing.
I think people are just scared of thinking we're just science.
People are scared because of thinking we're just science. A mechanistic.
Just dust.
We're just
stardust. That's all we are.
My sister did I don't even know what it's called. When they stitch pattern it, when she wrote it in a stitch pattern, and she wrote the term, "We are just stardust."
Yeah, stardust.
The Carl Sagan quote.
So
we are stardust. Why? And so if you don't know, why are we stardust? Because we're just made of elements. We're made of elements and matter. But how much we think that you go, we're not just that. Well, why? What are you? Well, I think for myself. Do you think for yourself? What is that? Oh, well, I have this voice in my head that it tells me, and it's like I think and I change throughout all the days of the. Okay, so don't you think that? So you have a brain that thinks that. Where else is it coming from? Oh, well, no, I can't just be more than that. But okay, but if you're trying to live and survive in the world, and if you don't, you've got your instincts, you have a certain reactional, emotional thing to have an emotional reaction to something is actually a very complicated circumstance, right?
To have a opinion on something.
Yeah, to think about something, but then to have it so deep where it's we have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to shit, we have to defecate.
All very massive vices of the human race.
Right? Massive vices. We all have these things because that's part of the human animal. That is what we are. But then we go, no, we're special in that because we have this voice in our head that tells us to do things. And out of that thing, we can think of great creations, great moral codes, it's thinking of substance that transcends the human animal. Everyone likes to think of religions because we're not just animals. We're not just 98% bonobo and chimpanzee. We can't share 98% the same as higher primates, as 95% as gorillas. Yet they're a 600-pound animal that can shred your face off, but they don't. They only eat vegetables because they're not even carnivores. But they're that massive. But we share 95% the same DNA as them.
They went right, we went left.
Yeah, and that ties back with what we said before of the Thomas Malthus versus Darwin idea. This whole book then gets to out of the 17th, 18th century, when we figured out that we weren't the center of the universe because the Earth is not the center. All of a sudden it spins around the Earth, and all of a sudden Darwin comes along and goes, well, actually, we're not imbued with a Holy Spirit and divinely chosen by a grand creator. We're actually just a higher primate and a subspecies of a giant splitting branch of animals that have lived throughout time, and it'll constantly adapt and change depending on the environment that they're actually born and raised in. And then after a few 100,000 years, they can't actually then have sex with the same species as just an offshoot off because they were born in a different environment. That was a different thing. That is literally what split when it came to evolutionary theory about the center of the universe. No, we're just a spinning globe. We're the grand animal of this grand designer. No, we're just an offshoot and a split of something that came of different animals that came before, and we can only tell that because of things that we've found throughout time. So
it's funny that people think that Earth is like the center of the not the center of the universe, like literally, but like, do you know what Earth is? Earth as a collective is the America of the universe.
If it's stretched out that far, if they even know what are we the party zone of the universe?
Take away the technicalities of it, put the whole universe on this table, and pretend this table is a world map. The whole Earth thinks that we're America, and that the whole world revolves around us.
Are you talking about Australia, or are you talking about
the world?
Okay.
Like, imagine the Earth as a country,
right? In
the scheme of the universe being the world,
right? You think if other worlds could see us, but then compare ourselves to other worlds and how they would advance?
It's like what's the greatest reality show of all time? America.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're just hilarious.
Yeah.
But to Americans, do you know how many Americans probably don't have a fucking passport?
Yeah, exactly.
Or have any knowledge. Like, do you know how many Americans? I guarantee when you ask, "Oh, what nationality are you?" "Oh, I'm Greek." "Oh, what country is Greek?" Like, they wouldn't know.
Oh yeah,
because
I have watched plenty of videos where they try and give like Trivial Pursuit knowledge.
They don't understand.
To America, they just don't get it.
Like, and so it's funny that Earth as a collective think that we're the epicenter of the Earth, that where the most is going on.
Right.
Because we have no fucking idea what's going on anywhere else.
Anywhere else, no. But that's why but how do we go out and find out about that? And that is what would change, and that is it's a difference in thinking that is important between supernatural thinking and naturalistic thinking. Is naturalistic thinking, you think you can have a comprehension in how the world works, and then you can build and create something that could go out and view it and understand it. That is what scientific belief is. Supernatural belief is we get to a certain stage of thinking, we go, I can't fathom why it would work that way, and you think God has a mysterious plan. We don't know. That's the change. So what do we have now? Now we have satellites that give us technology that we can broadcast our voices to whoever wants to listen to it. It goes onto the internet till it goes all the way back to this feels like we're superior, and then a solar flare hits. Where do we go back to? Evolutionary speaking, we're a higher primate. What do? We have communities. We live in social structures of about 150 people. It's called Dunbar's number. You can Google it. We go back to the substructures on actual what gives rise to what is important in the day. I need to wake up. I need to make sure I'm looked after. I need to make sure the people around me are looked after. We do that now because we make money. We have a roof over our head. We can go to the shops and buy food for ourselves. But all these things, other than that, we have indulgences, right? How many things are indulgences in life? How many people, and this is what they talk about having a weak society, is how many indulgences have to be taken away before a society crumbles? How many things have to be taken? Yeah, it will not take much.
One.
You really think it would take, it'd take a lot? No, it wouldn't. No, it would not take much at all.
The internet.
Yeah, you take that away, we're gone. But that's what we build us. We're a technological species.
If the internet goes down, I'm going to have to stand with the fucking megaphone, or I'll have to stand with like a megaphone at colonnades and just talk to people.
No, you won't.
To do my podcast.
No. To do the podcast, yes. You know what we do to do to make our money or to make ourselves useful to society? You'll cook for people, you'll be stoving over the fire, and I'll build shit for people. Yeah, so that they're like, oh, keep me around because I don't want to do anything else.
What is the old school pre-internet podcast?
What's the old school pre-internet podcast?
Yeah, what was it? Like a town meeting?
Yeah, but to get voices heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be because television came before that. It was radio, and then before that was meetups.
But I don't want to do that. I'd be a village idiot back in those days, I reckon.
We would. You and me both would be the village idiots.
Nah, mate. You'd be a knight.
I wish, yeah.
Or like a knight soldier. You'd be like a soldier of a knight. You wouldn't be a knight, but you'd be like...
Be my highest.
You'd be there.
That'd be my highest. So it'd be like...
You'd be in the first people they send out.
Be Lancelot, mate. Hey, Lancelot of King Arthur and the Knights
Or
Table.
you could be a philosopher.
Yeah, no. There's way more complexities to philosophy. I'm not that much of a rational thinker.
You fake it till you make it.
I could fake it till I make it. Thank you. I appreciate that. But look, we got on that giant roundabout because we stopped. We didn't even get to the main.
Mitchell,
we didn't
Josh
even get
Emmett.
to the main card, mate. All right.
Sorry, we went. Do you know you were talking about Bryce Mitchell, and I went on a religious rant.
We did. We went the religion. It all started all the way back then from the stopping of when we had to go out and have a whiz.
So who's opening up the main card?
Who is opening up the main card? I haven't got it up. I will get it up because I had it up not long ago.
I can't believe you have fucking reception in here.
I do get reception in here, mate. It's not too bad. Here we go. All right. So, the opener of the main card is Vicente Luque versus Ian Gary.
Am I betting? Are we betting? Are we telling people the bets we want that are gonna win?
Either they're gonna win or what we want to win. Because everyone wants Luque to beat the shit out of Ian Gary right now. Yeah, I'm just not sure it's gonna happen.
But Luque is a fucking animal.
He is. But if he doesn't mix the grappling
with
together really well with the striker, he's going to get picked apart. And Luque has never shown. The only time he commits to the grappling and goes for it is other grapplers. And then he darsed Michael Chiesa.
Who did Ian Gary piece up his last fight? Fuck.
Neil Magny.
That's such a step up.
Massive.
Huge.
It'll be Ian Gary will have the advantage on the feet. It'll be up.
Does he come out harder to try and push a finish because of all this?
No.
He just does his game plan.
I think he's a piece of shit.
Wow, that went fucking dark. I've never heard you talk about anyone like that.
Nah, he's look. I just saw something the other day, and he's like, "I'm worried about bringing
dickhead.
I'm worried about bringing my family.
He's a dickhead.
I'm worried about bringing my family over to America." And it was like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, mate. You want to fucking play this game of being the tough guy, and then your wife has to come out afterwards and be like, "Oh, you've never seen him actually in public. Or he has to hold the door open for me, and then he wants to fight people now." And it's all like, well. That's him, mate. That's him to deal with.
It's his fault.
That's his issue. That's not the rest of the world. If he wants to talk this shit and be this big product and be this whole thing, why do you think it corrupts people? Why do you think it makes people act a certain way? It depends on how much you can actually handle it and understand it mentally. More than what it is, all your physical attributes that you have to be the best fighter in the world. Part of that is to actually deal with how you live in society, which ties back to everything we just talked about.
Going back to Jesus as well.
Exactly.
Ian Gary called himself Jesus on Vicente Luque's post.
He did. He goes,
that's what kicked everything off. But I didn't realise Gary's gotten kicked out of every gym. Because apparently...
the last three?
Apparently he's a fucking wanker.
I didn't know about that because... I watched.
He's not a teammate. It's very
well. I watched the little. It was only a little minute clip, but it was Rio Ferdinand, the classic English footballer, big central defender back in the day. And he is obviously very big in England, and so he went to Leon Edwards' gym, and he brought that up to him. And he goes, "Oh, so Ian Gary was big here. So what happened?" And it was apparently it was a dispute of Ian Gary walking in being too big for his britches. Yeah, just being...
Which is good. He's very fucking good.
The cameras around him, but not given the time to other things.
He's very good.
Yeah. But so if he's done that everywhere, and that's the thing. He's got the skills, but if you don't have the people around you to work with, you can't get the work in with the best in the world because you've burnt every bridge. How far are you actually going to go?
All right. Now, you're Ian Gary. You've just won. You've won...
You beat Luque. You've knocked out Luque.
Knocked out Luque in the second round.
Right.
You get on the mic. What do you say?
Oh.
Do you double down like Colby and say you pack of filthy fucking animals, keep my wife's name out your mouth and slap him? Or what do you do?
Oh, I think that's probably close, right?
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah. I think that's fucking close. Because look at Colby, mate. Colby hasn't fought in 2 years. He got himself into a title shot.
Hype is
Off hype. So I think if Ian Gary can keep the tattletale in and be like, oh no, it hurts my feelings, I don't want to borrow it. If your wife is running your social media account now, that's fine. But if you keep performing the way you do, and this is the way you're acting on the social media now, and this is and you're willing to double down, fucking go for it, kid, because you will skyrocket.
Double down.
Will skyrocket into the fucking stratosphere.
He will never come back from this,
dude.
No. Like
he'll never recover because it's always the story now. It's always that story.
He'll never. So what he has to do, I'm telling you now, if he wins, he has to get on the mic and go, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth."
Oh, could you imagine? Oh, if he's Yes. Oh, now I get it.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
My God. He straight gets on the mic. Before I say anything, I just want to say, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yes.
Dude, okay, well.
Badass motherfucker. And I just came up with that.
That'll get you your clip.
I just came up with that.
That'll get you your clip off the same, but then again, then you're playing into.
He is better as a heel.
If you are so strong in the relationship that you have with his peers, why he's playing it out this way, if you're that confident in your relationship, fucking play it. Play it to the nth degree like you've got fucking a royal flush in your hand, mate. Because you've started it. You can't backtrack into the good guy. This is the Chael Sonnen approach. This is even the Conor McGregor, right? Everyone was talking about the McGregor when he was nice. He couldn't fight well, but all of a sudden he come back like shit and he still couldn't.
He can flip though. McGregor's different. He can flip to heel to like villain, like heel to babyface. Yeah. He can do that very well.
Yeah.
But Gary has put himself in that much of a hole. I reckon.
I don't think he's got much more, like, because he's come up and he even watching him in King of the Cage, he was playing off the McGregor persona.
Yeah, but
he was trying to do it, but now
McGregor can cop it.
But he can. But now he's also got this look where he has to make it work for him because this is what's been given to him.
The cuck.
Right? It's
been gifted by Deshaun Strickland.
It's been gifted. And so if you don't make this work for you, this is what people say when it's like, how can you be Tony Ferguson? You get 10, 11 fights in a row, but you've got no personality, so they didn't give you a title shot. You can be Alex Pereira and you get 3 fights and you get a title shot. Because if there's a story to tell, if there's something that people are gravitated to, which is the story, it's always the fucking story. If it's not the grand personality, which transcends, which was only 3 or 4 people, and you're talking the Rondas and the Ronda Rouseys and the Conor McGregors, they transcend the sport. It's of sheer individual personality and whatever it is that they bring that people want to tune in outside of fighting. But when it comes into the fighting, is if you've got that fucking skill set, all you have to do is not fuck up everything else, and then build yourself up to that. Or if you want to get there quicker, like everyone tries to base it off a different way. But you've got to, when something's given to you, you have to make it work for you.
You have to take it.
You have to make it work for you. Otherwise, you're just fucking forgotten. We were talking about this before when I was talking about listening to podcasts, and it was like taking an illegal strike, whether or not you come back and win a title, or whether or not you just get up and fight again and then you lose it. And that depends on then the money going forward, the name you can make for yourself, the notoriety you can build yourself on. But it's windows. They said there's windows of opportunity all the way through.
So you got $100. What you call for the Vincente and Gary?
Gary by points.
Gary by points?
Yeah.
That's a really sensible bet.
See? It's called sensible, mate. I'm still rational at the end of the day. My odd bet would be Luque submission in the second round.
It's a different animal
because maybe you can hurt Gary or hit him, and then Gary, like McGregor did, like his idol did with Nate Diaz, shoots in stupidly. Luque catches his neck, dasses him.
I'm gonna go Vincente, first round, KO.
Oh, bullshit.
Do you know why?
Mate. Why?
Because he talked about Jesus. He's gonna want those extra strikes. Nah, I'm not. I'd go Vincente by submission.
Yeah.
But no round.
And you know what? I would think I'm not even sure that he would want to rest. If he does, it's smart, but it's going to be difficult with Gary. I feel with his distance, but it's going to be knowing how dangerous Luke is on the feet. If Luke can hit him with something that hurts him, Gary panics and shoots much like McGregor did, and then he'll wrap up his neck.
I see it.
I can see it. That can happen, and that can happen in any round. Hence why in second, third,
all right,
doesn't matter.
Lock it in. Who's next?
Tony Ferguson, Paddy Pimblett. Your boy.
Honestly, Tony Ferguson, round 3, KO.
Yep.
Tony Ferguson, round 3, TKO.
Yeah, because I think Paddy can stand there and take some of Ferguson's shots now, but if Ferguson gets ahead and starts peppering him up, it might take to the second or third round.
I will tell you now, if Paddy Pimblett taps Ferguson, I will be so fucking surprised.
I think if it's a submission like that,
it's going to sleep. He has to go to sleep.
I think Ferguson will go to sleep. If he didn't tap to an Oliveira armbar, what the fuck do you think Paddy Pimblett's going to do to him?
There's not much more I can say about that.
Yeah.
There's not much more I can say about that.
I think we've said it all with that one. That's
What would you put $100 on though? Because I honestly think Ferguson's going to win that fight. I really do.
You know what it could be as well? Scrambles, Ferguson keeps ahead.
To a dast,
no, not even to a dast, but like Ferguson on points, because Pimblett not going to figure out the striking. He tries to do too much wrestling engagements. He doesn't have that solid technique to get him down, and if he doesn't get caught in a dast or something, Ferguson can just keep him off him, keep peppering him apart, but not being able to finish him because he doesn't have the power now to actually finish him. When he did have the power, he used to have the power to hurt people and they'd do something stupid and then snap down and snap city. But snap city on Paddy Pimblett might not work so well with the guy that's that good at jiu-jitsu. That's how it fucked up for Nogueira versus Frank Mir.
You're going to go Tony decision.
I'm going to go Tony by KO, TKO.
Any round.
Fuck
yeah.
Yeah, Tony, TKO, any round.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Who's up?
We have Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Horrible fight for Wonderboy.
Shavkat has missed his sister's wedding to keep training.
Yep.
That video come up. Yep. Saw that video. She's at a wedding and he is like, I'm phoning this in because I've got to go kill a man.
Because this man is going to rocket my career after what I do to him.
Shavkat is the next big thing.
Do you know what? Don't be surprised if that's the upset of the card.
What, Wonderboy?
Yeah.
Wonderboy, what, pointing him?
Yeah, just pointing him.
Can't get to him. Yeah, just rub mark.
Just something weird like
Shavkat doesn't have the technique or the skills to actually close the space to figure out.
We don't know that. We just don't know.
Well, we don't know, but...
So many unanswered questions.
He's been in wars. He's good on the ground. He's good on the feet. It's just whether or not he can close the distance. And I think he can close the distance and hurt Wonderboy enough where whether it's on the feet, he'll win on points because he'll hurt him too much. If he takes him down, that's a way better spot, but he has to get to him because Wonderboy is notoriously bad for people being able to get to him so he can actually get him to the ground.
Yeah, you got to go Shavkat by, I'd imagine, points.
I'd say Shavkat by points. He'll just be able to... Yeah, I think he'll just win everywhere.
There's not much of a storyline behind that besides Shavkat. If he does win, he is going to maybe he'll gain some eyes.
No, then he's got a big scalp. He beats Wonderboy. He's got a big scalp. He beat Jeff Neal, and he had a really good fight.
He's doing it the hard way.
He's doing it but this is how almost like Khabib did it. This is how
he's doing it the hard way.
Almost when you come from the Caucasus region and you don't speak English very well and you do all that, it's like your skills have to shine through.
Kamzat had fucking 4 fights in fucking 2 months before he got gifted someone decent.
Yeah, but also you realise he speaks English.
Yes, and he's he's not a good talker, but
He's a decent shit talker. He
he's-
at least used his English just to shit
endearing.
talk. He used his English just to shit
He's
talk.
like Khabib. It's endearing when he talks.
Yeah.
Because I kill.
Whereas Shovkart's starting to learn it now, but it's a lot off that, man. You don't realize Anderson Silva was never he's in the GOAT status for the best fighters of all time.
Shout out to Zhang Wei Li learning some English. I see her commenting on Instagram.
See?
now.
This is what they do, man. You realize, I mean, English is the language of business.
It's the hardest language to learn.
When you want to learn that it's the fight business, then you're going to get your way.
Oliveira speak a lick of fucking English.
Oliveira?
Yeah,
he is now.
Like a lick.
Oh, yeah, he's starting to get good.
Because I feel like...
No, he's starting to get good.
He
You know,
is.
like he's really fucking learning it.
Like
he's
won't-
starting to give sentences.
Do you know... Is the bloke... So the bloke who does the interviews...
For the Portuguese and the
Yes,
Mexicans,
you
he's
know.
great. Yeah, Fabio.
But does he also do the commentary for...
The Spanish announcers?
No. For the corners.
No.
I was going to say, because whoever does the Portuguese ones is so bad. Fuck. Like when he's trying, like they'll say 100 words and he'll stutter fucking 27.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think it's him for that one. But no, I'm thinking actually...
'Cause
they do.
he's
The
so-
translators has to speak for all of them. So when they commentate...
But he's so good at
very good.
the interview
he's
segment
great.
of it. He's the best.
No, he does because it's quick and they're doing it real time, mate. So he can't...
But when they're like, you got to do this, you got to do that, he's like,
Yeah. No, that's still him. That is still him.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because
It's hard.
He is.
Dude, it's hard doing it
fucking-
real time. People used to talk about this, right? Say something in English in your ear, and then within not even half a second, like you have to start exactly replicating what someone says. So say it in your ears in the headphones, and then speak it immediately.
It's a skill. It's a
fucking-
massive skill.
And then, but then translate it.
That's what makes Joey Diaz's translation of Yoel Romero on JRE phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Because he did such a good job of that.
He did a good job, and then the fact that I remember they get to a point, and he goes, he speaks way smarter than me, dog. I don't know what words he's trying to say here. I'm actually fucking lost.
Yeah.
He
did so good, though.
He started saying, he's talking about doing like this. I don't know, dog. He's saying some words. I'm not sure about this. I was like, damn. I listened to that whole thing. It was,
Shout out to Uncle Joey.
hopefully he's still popular as ever.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's still going?
He just moved to,
See,
after the whole COVID thing, he moved to New Jersey.
We
and
talked about it before. It's called the Joey Diaz Show now, isn't it?
something like that. Just type in Joey Diaz into any of your podcasts.
If
It'll come up.
anyone-
But it's not the church of what's happening now.
If anyone doesn't know who Joey Diaz is, do yourself a favor.
Google, just YouTube best of Joey Diaz.
Well, like,
And then just go to the one that has tens of millions of views.
Of
and
him with Alex Jones.
And him with Alex Jones.
Go
him
check
with,
yourself before you read.
him with Joe Rogan. Him on the Ice House Chronicles back in the day when Bert Kreischer lost it because he was telling the story about Lucy Snorbush and taking a quaalude up on a thing. I had a monkey dog. And then you got Bert Kreischer going, he ate a pussy. Oh, he ate a pussy. He actually just started losing it, just cackling off into the background because he's telling the story.
What my favorite Joey Diaz story is? When he was, like, one of his stories, you take him with a grain of salt. He was at a show and he fucked this girl from the front row in the toilets, and the boyfriend came up to him after, and he was like,
You owe me $20.
you owe me $20.
Yeah.
You owe me $20.
He's hookering out his wife, and he's more worried about not getting the $20.
He used to give Lee Syatt fucking those Stars of Death 120
man.
milligram
Man.
THC when he was on Joe Rogan, and he fucking ate 5 of those 120 milligrams.
The best one was he's eating the stars. No, the best one I remember was when he ate the cookie.
Yes.
And he took a bite out of it, and Joe was like, I can smell that. And then he tries to offer it to him, and they're like, oh, fuck no, absolutely not. And then Joe tells the story later on, and he's like, an hour into the podcast, you ate that, and then you were gone. And so it was a podcast between Redban and Rogan because but then Joey came in with some absolute glory for like one bit where he just fired up and he goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He just absolutely snapped out of it because he was absolutely on the strongest weed cookie you'd ever seen. He went into the stratosphere and was lost.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, man. Dude, edibles will take you.
So, we both got shove cut.
Any which way he wants. Any way he wants.
I'd go decision.
I think he wins.
If I was a betting man.
He wins any way he wants. Alejandro Pantoja versus Brandon Royval.
Fuck, I love Royval.
Royval's very fun to watch.
Pantoja's on.
Pantoja's on fire. He's at the top of the food chain. He beat Moreno. Was it twice? He beat him on the Tough Series, and then he beat him in the UFC. But then Moreno had the better wins and probably the better personality to get Moreno to the top of the flyweight division with a division that's already hard enough to sell. But then Pantoja has just always had the skills.
I'm gonna go.
But now he is top of the food chain, like skill level.
I'm gonna go Royval by a submission.
How much you want to bet on that?
I just ashed him my beer again.
You fucking serious?
I did that. That was a little bit low.
You're a dum-dum. Absolutely not. I don't see Royval submitting Pantoja. If it's a grappling exchange, the thing is Royval likes to scramble. He likes to engage.
Just a weird scramble.
Okay. I've done weird scrambles. I've tried them on Declan Moody once. You know how that went?
Didn't go good.
Yeah, it didn't go well at all, did it?
Shout out to Declan Moody.
Yeah, shout out to him. That's exactly how this would go. If you try and throw some bullshit up on someone that's a sharper technique as fucking Pantoja.
Good with it on the ground, though. He's good with it on the ground, isn't he?
Royval. Very good. Until you come to the top of the food chain. Until you try that bullshit, you try a back take
that's
on
gonna be my big odds of the night then.
Dude, that would be big money. If you can get Royval by submission.
That'd be 17-1.
Yeah. It'd have to be. If
odds.
it's not, you're not getting enough.
It's fighting.
I don't think it happens.
So you got Pantoja by?
I think Pantoja by sub.
By sub?
Mm-hmm. Or by decision. Let's double chance that again and go by submission or decision. I don't think Royval, I don't think he has enough. He's got good techniques. But if he hurts Pantoja, yeah, exactly. If he hurts Pantoja and it induces a scramble, it's better for better for Pantoja.
Royval's a pretty big flyweight.
I think he's bigger than Pantoja
in height. Not probably. I don't know in stature.
Maybe a little bit. It'd be a little bit. Maybe 5 pounds. Wouldn't be much.
And then we got the
main event.
Big main.
Leon Edwards, Colby Covington. Colby not having a fight.
I honestly think Colby's gonna fucking do it.
Mollywop him.
Not mollywop. I reckon he's gonna edge him out in a decision.
Edge him in a decision.
Not edge him. I reckon he's gonna win a decision decisively.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like
grapple fucking him against the fence.
I feel like he's not gonna get knocked out. I just really don't think Edwards will knock him out. And I think if Colby comes in sticking to a game plan and just sticks to it, the cardio, he's the best cardio in the UFC.
Yeah. I agree with that until it comes to Usman was the same.
First fight with
Usman was the same until he got head kicked.
Yeah, that was the greatest fucking moment. That might be the greatest moment.
But then they talked about listen again to that Cormier Rogan thing. He was talking about Teddy Atlas saying when you get that championship rub. And then he came back in the rematch, Edwards against Usman, and then he just looked like Usman didn't look like he could take him down. The striking was in Edwards' favour, and then Usman had way less success.
I feel like Usman's shelf life was limited up to that point.
But then Usman beat the shit out of Colby. So what's different with Colby?
No, he didn't beat the shit out of him.
They had a back and forth until Usman got ahead of him, and got ahead of him both times.
Yeah,
I don't think what's the difference.
That's MMA math.
That's MMA math, yeah.
Well, so you got $100. Who are you putting that on then? You got Edwards by a decision.
Fuck. No, you know what? I'll go Covington by decision.
Yeah, I just feel like
after saying all that, I could still think that Colby with his grappling pressure, get in his face, not let you, because you know what it is, get Edwards flustered. Get him where he can't get his shots off. He made it well because that's why that head kick works so well. he could do exactly what Usman did to him for 4 rounds before he got caught by the head kick. I think Colby could exactly do the same thing, just pressure him, outwork him, outstrike him, outgrapple him. I think he could get more shots off. He'll be winning on everything on the stats, and it's not getting caught by the one big strike that hurts him, that makes it flip the other way.
Yeah, I'm going with you. I reckon Colby by decision.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, unless Edwards flicks the script by hurting him, and by hurting him in any way, hurt him to KO him or hurt him where it turns the tide, where Colby, he never really takes the foot off the gas, but if you hurt him enough, maybe body strikes, body kicks, until you set up that head kick.
Ring rust.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, no, my head would say Colby by decision. Otherwise, I would think if you want a bit of value, a Edwards 3-4-5 knockout.
3-4-5.
3-4-5, which you can get on Sportsbet.
Well, you heard it here from the best. It is a school night, so we're going to cut it. But this Sunday, if you made it this far, me and the boys will be live streaming, getting nice and loosey-goosey for it.
And it's not 4:30 starts in the AMs over here this time, unlike last time.
We got a surprise for you as well. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, mate.
Enjoy the picks.
Always good.
Gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly.
Boom.